Jeff Golner is with us for a couple of minutes. You need to know about STEM sports. And here's the thing. You're watching right now saying, I hate being an attorney. Yeah, I make lots of dough, but I'd love to be in sports. Or, yeah, I'm working over here in finance, or I'm doing HR and just miserable. And then there's people like Jeff Golner stood across me in a Zoom that said, you know what? I'm going to go invent something, because really this is an entrepreneur that you're looking at that said, I see sports and I see STEM. And that's the introduction to Jeff. He's going to fill us in on how STEM sports came to be, what it's about, how you can get involved, and so on. It's good to see you.
Yeah, as well. Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it. Certainly for those, the majority of people know what STEM is, but just in case, it's an acronym for science, technology, engineering, and math. Maybe the best way to kind of equate that is if you and I, Brad, all of a sudden went back to our fifth grade classroom, and it may not be called science anymore. It might just be called STEM, really with the computer technology advancements that we've all experienced over these last 20 plus years. So that's what STEM exists for.
How did this come to be? Where were you? When was the moment? Because I'll just back up on Jeff. I've known Jeff since the Diamondbacks' inception back in '98. Jeff would be the guy that was down in the field. He would get people to the national anthem or get people the first pitch or many other things. I'm not demeaning or taking away from your gig there, but you just did a bunch of things that I remember, right? So when was the moment you're like, I see STEM and I want to go pursue this for sports and be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I can't take credit for the creation of it. I actually got it, and I acquired the business in its very, very early formation. It came to me as a client to my marketing agency, Agency G, which still exists today. But I loved it from the moment I heard about it and from the moment I got my hands on it. And at the agency, we get our hands dirty with our clientele. And so we helped just kind of help build the foundation. But then it was the reality came shortly into that experience, the client agency experience, that the founder just didn't have the bandwidth to see it through for all the right reasons. And so we made an acquisition. So I've owned it ever since basically verbally in 2017 and to start the 2018 year. Since then, we inherited technically 2 curricula. We're up to now 11, kind of distributed amongst 15 different products that we're basically selling to schools of all types across the U.S. and all 50 states. And they're used in the classroom. The curriculum's used in the classroom as a supplement in K through 8 classrooms. It's being used as an elective. There are STEM sports classes. There are STEM sports teachers. Making a really cool cognitive experience for those students. And then it's used in after-school programming and camps as well.
What is the attraction, do you think? I mean, I can see it pretty easily. Sports is something that our country has a passion for. We all follow it. It may be more than that, though.
Yeah, I think sports is the buzzy part of it, for sure. The playfulness of it, the engagement with students. Certainly, I think the majority of students, are engaged in sports in some way, shape, or form. And what we've also found is that the science-centric student that's maybe not an athlete, maybe doesn't play sports, their experience might be in esports or video games. They've kind of told us, thank you, you've made sports cool for me. The way we kind of explore and get into that cognitive space around sports. Like, Brad, an example would be, most kids know there's air inside of a basketball. Pretty simple. You can ask them that. But when you ask them questions like, how thick do you think the ball is? Show me with your fingers the actual material. You get these really wide-ranging, they don't really totally understand that concept. We break that down. There's pieces of balls in the kit that we supply so they understand that, but also take it to the point of, hey, by the way, this could be your job one day. Maybe it doesn't work out on the basketball court. You're not going to be the next Devin Booker. We don't really say that. We're just pointing out the ways they can actually still work and have employment and a career inside of the game that they love. That's ultimately what STEM has to do. That's why it's in place, to build those skills at a young age. So when they hit the career side, they're ready.
Jeff Golner with us for a couple of minutes. STEM sports. If you were to say this is the sport that when you guys started it, it's like, I don't know if people are going to latch on. And now they have, because you said you started at 2, you're up to 11. What's a sport they've latched onto?
Well, basketball is pretty popular. Football too. It's almost seasonality too. You can see that the buying trends of schools sometimes parallels what's happening in the sports arena, right? So football picks up in the fall. Things like that kind of happen. Soccer is certainly popular. We're getting a lot of wonton internationally, and we're going to explore that very soon. So and we've even had inquiries about cricket, right? And is pickleball on the draft table? It is, and so because we certainly know adults are playing it, but it's dripping down. It is. And if you think about the ease of play for the adults, well, think about school campuses. The footprint's smaller, it's an easier game to play. It's going to work in the youth side too. So we'll be ready for that.
Plus, kids are curious. Us adults, we get in this is the way it's always been, it's drilled into us. You have a fourth grader, it's like a tennis ball. How thick is a tennis ball? How does the ball bounce? And so on, right? Or you string a racket. Why do you string a racket so tight? Am I on the right path here, Jeff?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Or how do you hit the sweet spot on your racket? We've got a Billie Jean King endorsed product inside of that kit. And there's science behind that, right? The eyes and making contact. And it's pretty interesting what kind of comes of that. The neurology actually really gets explored in some cases, and so the kids really love it. And it's been a lot of fun to see. We kind of call it these cognition ignitions happen. And you see kids go, "Oh, I never thought about that," and so it just it spirals. And the next time they engage with sport, whether they're playing it, they watch it on television, there's going to be a good recall. It just makes it more sticky, more dimensional in their learning, rather than, dare I say, chalkboard or textbook, which I know those things aren't kind of gone by the wayside. But if it's lecture and I've got to listen to my teacher tell me things, compared to me actually going in and playing, leaving the classroom, being on the field or court of play and engaging with that curricula, with that academics, it just makes them a lot more sense.
Okay, you acquired this in 2017. 7 years later, are you where you want to be? Where do you see it going?
Well, certainly if that COVID thing didn't happen, we'd, and certainly had affected lots of different industries. Yeah, we're really happy. We keep growing year over year, and we're very happy with progress. We still have a lot of, room to grow. We attend conferences, and we probably 9 people out of 10 go, "What's this?" And you haven't really heard about us yet. So, it's a small company trying to rise up and market and show our wherewithal and awareness to the schools that we can deliver this to.
It's very cool. If people want more information, where would they go?
Yeah, it's really simple. STEMsports.com is the best place to take a look around the website and explore. And I think you can find just about everything there, as well as all of our social channels are right there if you prefer to get information that way as well.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Brad. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
And we're back with